Hello and welcome to another episode of All Elite Arcade. It is Monday, and as always here on Mondays, we talk about video games. Evil Uno here, the Chugs here in the house. Chugs, I don't know about you. I thought this week was going to be an insane gaming week for me. I think I don't have that much to talk about for once.
Hey, and that's okay. There are some weeks where you don't have a ton to talk about. Episode 84 today, I do actually have quite a bit to talk about, but I would love to hear what you got to play this week.
Okay, well, I'm glad you could carry the weight this week. It's been such a busy year. I feel like I've played so many games, and I'm about to mention like 6 games. So there are still, I still played a lot. I feel like I have nothing new to bring to the table, but I played a lot of the same few games the last few weeks, starting with games I completed. Ghost of Yotei, I finally completed the final mission. After doing the thing that I do for every single video game, major AAA games, especially open world, where I got to the point where they tell you, hey, this is the final mission. They warn you ahead of time. I told myself I'm not going to beat this game until I beat everything else, which is truthfully the Evil Uno story, and then I ended up never finishing a game. I decided now I have to stop doing this, especially going into Game of the Year time. I need to complete some of these games. And so I have now completed Ghost of Yotei. Incredible ending, honestly. The final mission it pretty much ramps up everything you've learned, every type of combat, and it gives you a series of that. It culminates the story as well. I very much enjoyed Ghost of Yotei, and I'm actually kind of sad because I now only have one side mission. I feel like there's not much for me left to play on this, which sucks because I really enjoy the mechanics of this game. But then I remembered that early next year, we're getting the multiplayer mode, and so I'm probably going to be coming back and revisiting this, and they'll probably drop a little piece of content as well. But you're not playing Ghost of Yotei right now, probably the best use of your PlayStation. If you're trying to find a more recent game of this year, that might be the Sony game to play. Very, very happy with the way it came out. A great game. Honestly, a great game.
Yeah.
And then last week, I also talked about another game I was playing called Look Outside. Look Outside was a horror RPG. I talked about how it had branching paths. You could make a lot of choices. Well, I finally completed the game. I completed one of the endings after, I believe, 20 hours of gameplay. So that's a fairly good amount for a small indie RPG. And typically when I play these type of games, I did the same thing with Undertale. When I complete the game, I feel like I've completed it once. I can allow myself to look into information about that game so I can at least, my next run be a little more informed and kind of go into it and branch towards a different path so that I could explore different paths of this game. Upon completing this game, I didn't get the perfect ending. I got close to perfect, so I didn't get the best ending, if you will. And then I found out recently there's an even better ending. But I started looking into this game, and to give you an idea of how much content is in this, I played 20 hours. I went all the way to the last day. I went through the ordeal. If you played the game, I don't want to tell you what happens, but there is a path. I went towards the path of what seems like the ending, rather than the easy path. And when I went back and looked at information, in my 20 hours, I only met my main character and 6 extra characters to be my companions. And upon review of stuff in the game, there's 7 other characters that I don't know how they... One, I'm not sure if I've ever interacted with them. I might have murdered them. I'm not quite sure. And 2, I don't know how any of these characters would be playable, but they're all companion characters that I could have played with. So there is a meaty 50% of the pie that I have not seen in this game. And so it's a great Steam Deck game. I've been playing it on planes and such. So I will probably keep attacking it slowly because it feels like I could do another gameplay entirely and touch completely different content.
Oh, Uno, I'm so sorry, but this is huge. So you said you played the entire game on Steam Deck.
I did, yes.
Right? That's awesome, because I think when it originally came out, they were saying that you can't use a controller to play this game.
Yes.
So you were able to use the actual buttons and joysticks and all that stuff to play this?
Yeah, so I ended up starting on a laptop with WSAD, and then at the 10-hour point, I put it on my Steam Deck. I will say this. It does not calibrate directly to a controller the way you would. So when you go in configuration, it does not seem to go directly. But there are, so like I went into my options, I put run always, because for some reason the run button would not fix on anything. And then the only thing that's weird is that all the face buttons are essentially like an X or an A, so they're like accept or attack or so on, and then start is actually the back button. So you only really need two buttons. That's a little confusing at first, but once you get used to that, it's mostly movement and it's a 2-button game.
Yeah.
But no, it's a very good Steam Deck game. If you're not playing it right now, it's worth playing, and it's extremely cheap. They just came out with a big release 2.0 update, and this is the type of game that it's gonna eat at me if I don't replay it, because I feel like at the end of the game on Steam, I did 3 endings. So not only did I complete the game once, I went back and completed 2 other ones that I know I could easily access. And I only have a third of the achievements, which I don't know what that means. So that really bothers me. And then when I started looking into it, there's 7 characters I haven't interacted with. So I feel like there's a big part of this game I'm either killed someone and branched and cut myself out from, or maybe early on made some decisions that branched me off from it. So I'm and also if this is an apartment complex, there are at least 4 doors I've never entered in. So I know there's more content for me to see. I just don't know how to do it. So I'm definitely going to be replaying this game. So you will probably hear me talk about Look Outside again. If this excites you in any way, it should be. It's a very, very fun game. And
I really want to play this Uno, especially now that you're saying it's playable on Steam Deck. That's huge for me to be able to play it while on the go or while traveling, because it seems like the perfect handheld game. It really does.
It's not demanding on the console either, so like that battery pack's gonna last forever. And truthfully, I mean, you like horror stuff. You like, you're not huge on RPGs though, are you? Like turn based?
I love turn based RPGs.
Okay,
yeah, big time.
So I think you'll enjoy this, because this is a lot of fun. It also has like an aesthetic that's both grotesque and also kind of feels like Earthbound. So it's like a perfect middle ground. I enjoyed it a lot. It's gonna be a strong contender at the end of the year for me for sure.
Nice.
And then I just want to give some cap offs on a couple things that I've been playing again. I put in another hour into Outer Worlds 2. Still good, visually stunning. I also put it on my Steam Deck in hopes to see how it runs. The graphics are not at max, obviously, but it runs very well.
Sure.
Like, very well.
Nice.
The battery, on the other hand, of my Steam Deck cannot survive more than like an hour and a half playing it. It's running full power, but it does run very well. It's very smooth, more than playable on Steam Deck. I've been enjoying that. I still feel I'm very early in it, so I can't feel like I have a good grasp of an opinion on it, but the combat I have played, the dialogue I have played, the dialogue's very well written, very well acted. All of the voice actors seem to be incredible. I love the new playing it on my PC. By far, it looks incredible. It is stunning. On Steam Deck, it's still nice. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel next gen on Steam Deck, but that's fine. And then, but I still feel like I'm scratching the surface of what that game is. So I will report back on that one. But I've been enjoying it. I also put more time into Simpsons Fortnite. I've done the whole content of that game already. Nice. I got real addicted last week when it originally came out. Every week more stuff is coming out, so I will revisit. But I got all the skins I needed. This is such a cool mode for Fortnite that I feel like there needs to be a way for it to be permanent, which it will not. But making that world a cartoon world is so cool. It makes the game feel so different. And it also services all the skins that they've released. Typically, they release skins that look like cartoon characters, and they stand out so much in a 3D world that it is like a disadvantage. But having the cartoon world as a background, it makes all those skins way more accessible and way more useful. And so I feel like there's probably a future where they revisit a cartoon world. I know just recently they said they're doing SpongeBob content that's coming up, and I believe there's going to be more Adventure Time content in the future as well. So they do look like they're branching out into more cartoon stuff, and so I'm really looking forward to what Fortnite's going to do in the new year. Simpson one ends at the end of this month, so we only have 2 weeks of it left, and it's right into the Christmas stuff. And who knows, that Christmas stuff could still be a Simpsons thing. I really don't know. But I will come back to it. Now I'm back. I've got the bug. I've got the Fortnite bug all over again. And then finally, the last game I put a little bit of time in is I played actually 2 games. One, I don't need to say much more. I played a lot of Power Wash Simulator 2. Can you believe there's a lot of dirt on a lot of objects that needs to be cleaned? I feel like I've been playing this game for 3 weeks straight. It's been out a week. I've been playing this game steadily for a week, and I feel like I'm nowhere near the ending. But not much more to say. I've been spraying dirt with that. And then I've been playing a lot of Mega Bonk, which I think I have talked about this here. That's
briefly, yeah.
Yes, that's it's like a mixture of Risk of Rain and Vampire Survivors. It's a third-person 3D Vampire Survivor game. So essentially, you walk around, you choose your movement, but every time you unlock a new power, a new weapon, or a new supportive weapon, those auto shoot, and then you want to try and build those up strong enough that you can complete a level to go on to the next level, I've been grinding that a lot. Still very fun. I do feel like I'm at a point at the game where I'm in the last quarter of what is accessible and what I can actually unlock. And so I do want to see kind of a DLC update to this at some point, because I feel like it will get it for sure. If it's anything like Vampire Survivors, I feel like we will see more content for it. But incredible game. If you're not playing Megabonk, it's one of the most addictive games I've played from this year. A ton of fun. But other than that, no new stuff. It's all been repeats. Maybe next week there'll be more new things. But at this moment, I'm trying to tie up some loose ends before Game of the Year. I'm trying to finish up everything I need. I got to do Outer Worlds. I got to do Silk Song. I've got to finish Expedition 33. We only have like a month to go before we start discussing. So
I know this year has just flown by. Same thing. I'm like in a position where I'm like, oh my God, I got to finish all these games that I started. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm going to try.
I don't think there's a chance. Well, at least not for me. I feel like I'm Expedition 33 alone, I feel like I probably have 20 hours to still touch. So what about you, Chugs? Right. You've been playing some stuff. I know you've got a lot of exciting things to talk about too.
Yes, but very similar to you, Uno. A lot of them, with the exception of 2 games, are games that I've talked about or played a little bit and talked about on this podcast before. Also, you beat 2 games this week, which is better than me. I actually only beat 1 game this week, but definitely have a bunch to talk about. First of all, the original 3, or the starting 3, which I talk about every single week, which I'm just going to very briefly go over. Number 1, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. The only thing I want to mention is, Uno, I got a gold Lugia card like a month ago, and there is this display board where you can put Lugia and Ho-Oh like together, and I so badly want to get the gold Ho-Oh card. You're not going to believe it. I got it.
No way.
Got it. I was unbelievably excited. There's again a new B series pack where you can open new cards. I've been so laser focused on like, okay, I'm just going to open the Ho-Oh and Lugia packs just to see if I end up getting the gold Ho-Oh, and I did. So I'm very proud of myself. I look at it probably every day, going, look at these 2 beautiful gold cards. So I was very excited about that. As far as the other 2, which I am streaming at twitch.tv/thechugs, that of course being Clair Obscure, Expedition 33, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. Only thing I really wanted to mention is, again, I'm not going to go into too many story details, but Expedition 33 is really picking up as far as the battles. I feel like I am getting towards the again, I still feel like I have a lot left, but I feel like I'm heading towards the tail end of that game, and the challenging bosses are definitely increasing. Not only the challenging bosses, but there's some challenging platforming sections too. This game has a little bit of everything, which I love dearly because they did not have to do that. So Expedition 33 has been great. Also, Hollow Knight Silk Song. Again, I've already finished that game on my own, but on stream, I'm getting towards the very end of Act 1. So the game is also really going to pick up. So once again, if anyone's interested in watching me play through Expedition 33 or Hollow Knight Silksong, twitch.tv/thechugs to check that out. I'm not going to go into any story details or anything like that. But as far as some new stuff to talk about, and I'm going to start with this actually. So, Uno, I love Time Crisis.
You and me both.
Adore Time Crisis. The amount of time me and my brother used to play Time Crisis 1 on our PlayStation 1 with the light gun, the amount of times we would go to arcades and play Time Crisis 2, it's probably my favorite light gun shooter. Well, Game, spelled Gaime, has released this game gun, which celebrates the 30th anniversary of Time Crisis, which is really, really cool. In addition to having Time Crisis 1, it has Point Blank and Steel Gunners 1 and 2. But this light gun setup, it's so, so cool. So the size of the console itself is like the size of like a big coaster. It's really not large at all. And you can plug it directly into your TV. I got it where there were 2 light guns that came with it, as well as 1 paddle, which is really, really cool. Dude, Uno, it's probably the best at-home light gun experience I've ever had. It is so, so cool. The calibration, you have to be very, very accurate. It's not a type of thing where, I could be playing the game and then just hand it off to my friend. They want to make sure that it's as completely accurate as possible. So when you calibrate in that spot, that's the spot you have to stay in. Using the paddle is really, really cool for Time Crisis. Me and my brother, we hooked this thing up and we played it. We beat Time Crisis together that night, which was so, so fun. There's so many different settings with it as well. Like you can make the game easy, medium, or hard. Another thing, which is very, very nice for me at this moment, is you can actually add a reticle in Time Crisis, if that would be easier on your eyes or easier for you. So having the option and the ability to do that is really, really cool. But man, I just wanted to mention for anyone who's a light gun fan. Oh, also the light gun, like it rumbles to simulate actually shooting the light gun, which is a really, really cool addition. But yeah, I had an absolute blast with that. It's been so long since I've played Time Crisis, and I'm so glad that I have this now, the 30th anniversary, which is really, really cool. So yeah, me and my brother got the chance to play some of that, which has been very, very fun. In addition to that, I did finish my 15th game this year. And that game is Little Nightmares 3, which I very briefly talked about. I finished Little Nightmares 3 on my ROG Xbox Ally X. I think it took me about 5 or 6 hours to finish the game. But man, I had so much fun with it. To me, the environments in Little Nightmares are so daunting and scary and eerie, and there's a lot more of that in Little Nightmares 3. I think the story that ends up unfolding was really, really cool. It ran great on the Xbox Ally X. I had no issues at all. And I'll mention something about the console at the next game that I talk about. But I only ran into a couple of issues, very, very small, minor issues. But again, I think Little Nightmares 3, I don't want to say is meant to be played in co-op, but you can play it in co-op. And there were maybe 2 scenarios where the AI was not doing what it was supposed to be doing, so I needed to reload a checkpoint to be able to access it. Like there was this one point where I'm running. Oh, by the way, again, the environments, the levels, the puzzles, and the boss encounters are so cool. There are so many like chase running sequences with all this stuff happening around you. It's really, really fun and really, really intense. But there was one time I was doing this amazing chase sequence, and my partner needed to do something, and he just was not doing it. So I had to keep, and then I Googled it, and I just looked it up, and I just had to keep doing it over and over and over again, hoping the AI started doing it, which did happen. It did not take me too long. And then there was just another point where the AI wouldn't drop an item or an object that I needed. But other than that, man, Little Nightmares 3 was a lot of fun. I love the Little Nightmares games. So yeah, that is the 15th game that I've beaten this year. Had an absolute blast with it. So much fun. And then also really wanting to test out the Xbox Ally X. I am playing Ninja Gaiden 4 on the Xbox Ally X. And I've noticed this is with the Steam Deck, I very rarely play with the Steam Deck plugged into a power source. But what's really cool about the Xbox Ally X is when it's unplugged, it goes into a 17-watt performance mode. But when it's plugged in, it goes into a 35-watt turbo mode. So every time I'm playing anything on the ROG Ally or Xbox Ally X, I normally have it plugged in. Again, it runs fine when it's in performance mode, but it runs just that much better when it's in turbo mode, which obviously makes complete sense. And for Ninja Gaiden 4, I wanted to make sure I was playing it in turbo mode. And man, the game looks, runs, and performs great on the Xbox Ally X. I'm probably 5 or 6 hours into Ninja Gaiden 4. The game is so good. Also, side note, the music in Ninja Gaiden 4 has no business being as good as it is.
Ooh, this might be what pulls me in.
Dude, there's like a save point, like a shrine area that you go to where you kind of rest, maybe purchase some items, talk to the AI that is in this system. It's like the funkiest jazz song I think I've ever heard in my life. It's so good, and it feels so out of place, but like in the best way. Like the Ninja Gaiden soundtrack is so diverse in like all the different type of music there is, and this jazz song at the shrine area is just so good. I've been listening to it on repeat for the past few days. It's so great, and the heavy metal boss encounter music is really, really cool. But yeah, this game 100% through and through is a Ninja Gaiden game, and what's been great about this, I've never really put a bunch of time into a Ninja Gaiden game. And every time that I've played a Ninja Gaiden game, I get my butt kicked, dude. Like for me, I could never really understand how to better myself within the combat. But with Ninja Gaiden 4, I'm like, I'm going to teach myself. And what's about, like, for example, I used to play it like it was a Dark Souls game. It's not a Dark Souls game at all. Blocking is so important. Obviously, dodging is very important. But the biggest thing I've noticed is combos, like treating it almost like a fighting game and doing the correct moves at the correct time. So there's a lot of button prompts to remember, but man, when you start memorizing those combos and unlocking more and more and making sure you're constantly thinking about doing them, that's when the game just feels so incredible. And you start beating a bunch of enemies or beating really tough bosses. So I'm definitely improving because I'm learning how to play this game the way it's meant to be played. So Ninja Gaiden 4 has been awesome. I am definitely going to finish this game. It's definitely really, really hard, but man, really, really enjoying it. So Ninja Gaiden 4 has been awesome.
Hell yeah.
And then last but not least, I did get the chance. We are filming this on a Saturday, but I did get the chance to play a little bit on Friday night, the brand new Call of Duty Black Ops 7 on PC, which I was very excited to check out. So for anyone who knows me, they know that I absolutely loved Call of Duty Black Ops 6. The campaign was so much fun. The zombies mode was incredible. So with Black Ops 7 yesterday, I was excited to jump into, I wanted to try the campaign, the multiplayer, and the zombies before the podcast today. So unfortunately, I did not get the chance to start the campaign. First and foremost, when you do open Black Ops 7, they don't even call it a normal campaign. They call it a co-op campaign. Yeah. So I think this is meant to be played with other people. I do believe that you can play the campaign by yourself. I unfortunately did not try. I think I might try it so I could let everyone know next week. But yeah, I definitely think it's meant to be played co-op. So I haven't tried it yet, but I'm very interested to jump into that. But also played a little bit of the multiplayer and a little bit of the zombies. Again, Call of Duty looks so AAA. It sounds so AAA. The multiplayer is a blast. The maps that I played was really fun. Again, I love the zombies mode. The zombies mode in Black Ops 7 is an absolute blast. I love the new maps and setups there. To me, this feels like more Call of Duty Black Ops, which is a good thing. But yeah, I enjoyed the little bit that I got to play of that, and I'm excited to put some more time into it.
And I think even the campaign's a continuation of the last game too, right? It has like the same main character, but it's just situated in almost a more futuristic version of the previous game.
Yes, so I'm under the impression that one of the things I love about Black Ops is the wacky out there campaign and scenarios where it's like if a certain drug makes you hallucinate, you're in all these wild environments with zombies or whatever. I guess the Black Ops 7 campaign is 95% that.
Yeah, so I remember the trailer just being really like batshit insane. In a way where I was like, I don't know what this game is really about. I am very interested.
Yeah. which has me really intrigued, really intrigued. So I'm excited to jump into that more. I should just force myself to play it and check it out, even not in co-op mode. But again, I've heard definitely the way to play is in co-op mode. But yeah, super fun, and the campaign sounds wild. So I'm excited to put more time into Black Ops 7 as well.
Hell yeah. Well, a bunch of
that
games.
Yeah, got a fair amount of games in there. Got to finish a game, got to play a light gun game, got to check out the new Call of Duty. It's been a pretty productive week in the world of Chugs and Uno as far as gaming goes.
Yeah, I'm always coming into here this podcast thinking I haven't done anything, and then as I start listing, I'm like, no, I just didn't play anything brand new. That's all it is. I'm very interested in this light gun business. I used to play so much arcade shooters, obviously Time Crisis, but House of the Dead, so on and so forth. I love a light gun game, so I'm definitely I might check into that GAIME 30th anniversary, because that sounds cool as hell.
Dude, you should. It's definitely the best at-home light gun experience I've ever had. It's awesome. Really cool. Definitely worth checking out.
Well, I'll definitely be checking that out, as well as a bunch of other stuff. That's not it for our episode, though. We have a ton to talk about. In fact, we had some pretty big news dropped in the last week, and we're going to talk all about it right after this.
And welcome back, everybody, to episode 84 of the All Elite Arcade Podcast. Before we jump into the news, Uno, you know what time it is.
Ooh.
It's time for the producer quiz. Our producers have been kind enough to send me and Uno 3 questions that we have to answer. We have no idea what the correct answers are. At the very end of this podcast, we will reveal the correct answers. We're going to reveal who was right and who was wrong. So, Uno, are you ready to go?
I am.
All right. Question number 1 of this week's producer quiz. Which of the following has not been an enemy in the Legend of Zelda series? Is it A, Kirby, B, Goomba, C, Shy Guy, or D, Koopa Troopa? Oh, no.
Okay, this is a weird one because I don't remember a single one of these appearing in any of the Legend of Zelda games. And I think I've played all of them, maybe bar Zelda 2. And so unless it's in the NES versions, I don't remember any of them being in there. Now,
same.
There's obviously an outlier here because 3 of these are bad guys. 1 is a good guy. But I also feels like somehow that's a trap. That seems like too obvious to me. So,
The only enemy in the Legend of Zelda that I know for sure is in a Zelda game is the Chain Chomp. Is in The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I do know that.
Yes, as an object, right?
No, like as a pet, almost.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, oh my God. Again, immediately I'm thinking it's A, Kirby, but I have no idea. And it also feels like you said, like it's a trap. Almost.
Yeah. This might also be like this might be 4 Swords. This might be some of the more Nintendo focused ones. I'm really unsure. You know what? I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say Goomba. Goomba has never been in a Legend of Zelda game.
And this is probably very foolish because I have no idea. And that's also a great one. I was thinking of maybe that, but you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to say A, Kirby.
All right.
I'm going to say Kirby. Yeah. All right. So my answer, A, Kirby. Uno's answer, B, Goomba. Question 2. Which statements about the Elden Ring are true? Is it A, it originally came from the Elden Beast? B, it was a physical ring shattered by Marika? C, it is a set of runes that governs the world's laws and order? Or D, all of the above?
Whoa.
I am going D,
here's the thing.
All of the above.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, do you want me to, because I feel like you know this one for sure.
That's what I'm going with. But I didn't look at it closely. I didn't look at it super closely.
Man. So here's the thing. The only one in my mind that I feel is right was C. I was like, I remember C, and that seems to be true. I know there's an Elden Beast. I don't know if that's where it came from. And I don't know about a physical ring being shattered. I don't remember that part, but that might just be escape. I'm going to go C. You know what? I can't win this round if we choose the same things all the time. So I'm just going to go with my gut. I'm going to say C is the answer.
Okay. And hey, you know what? I was thinking about this. Someone mentioned this to me before too. I wonder if it'd be better if we like wrote the answers down and held them up.
Oh, yes. That way we don't have to. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's. In the future, we'll do that, and then once we display the answer, that way we could. I won't be influenced by yours that way.
Right, and say with me. I won't be influenced by you. I won't.
In the future, we'll do that.
Yeah. Next week, episode 85, we'll do that. So question 1, I said A, Uno said B. Question 2, Uno said C, I said D. Okay, here we go. Question 3, last but not least. 3 of these PS3 games have an average of a 90 plus Metacritic score. Which PS3 game has an average score in the 60s? Is it A, Silent Hill Downpour, B, Dark Souls 2, C, Rayman Legends, or D, Killzone 2?
I'm fairly certain about this, but I've done this mistake before. I'm going to say A, Silent Hill Downpour is in the 60s.
I am going to say the same thing. I know it's not as fun when we pick the same answer, but I am, again, before we've been super confident and been super wrong, but I think it is A, Silent Hill Downpour.
And there you have it. All 3 questions answered. At the very end of this episode of the producer quiz, we will give you the answers. And I believe right now I trail by 3 victories. So Chugs ahead of me by 3 points. We will see if I catch up. I think it's somewhere like 8-5. At this point, I should know.
I think it is 8-5.
I was going to say, at this point, I should know. I should note it down. But we will find out the very episode if we were right. Do play along. Let us know how you did. YouTube.com/AEW Games in our comment section. Bunch of news came out this week, Chugs. Above all, and we'll start with the biggest news piece of all. We're getting a new console. But not from the people you would anticipate. Not one of the big 3. No. Valve themselves have come out and say they're coming out with a new console called the Steam Machine that will come out with a Steam controller. And on top of that, they've also said they will be building a VR headset called the Steam Frame. All 3 of these will start shipping in early 2026. No specific launch timing said, as well as no pricing confirmed, although they did say that the machine has a 1 gigabyte Ethernet, a display 1.4 port, a HDMI 2.0, as well as 1 USB-C port and 4 USB-C A ports. It will also have 512 gigabytes storage and a 2 terabyte storage option. The power supply is built in, which means it will not have a power brick. They say it will be about 6 times the horsepower of a Steam Deck. Yeah. And it is designed to play most PC games on a TV. Well, obviously Gabe Newell talked about this, but one of the people at Valve had also said this will be better than 70% of households have a computer that is equal or less than what this will be. So this is not a supercomputer, but this is like a low-end gaming computer, which is still pretty unreal for a console, which means you could practically play anything on on the Steam library, with the exception of probably, some newer high-end games at ultra, at the ultra settings, which I don't think we'll get there. But it promises 4K gaming at 60 frames per second, discrete semi-custom AMD desktop class GPU, and GPU is what makes that run. It will keep cool and run quiet as well, which, obviously they have to say that. We will see once it gets out there into the wild. But this is, to me, the console, first off, very exciting. One, I love my Steam Deck. I think if I could get my full library easily accessible to any television, this looks also like not that big of a console. It looks like the size of a GameCube. And yeah, this for me, I'm sure you're the same way, but I feel like this will be a day one buy for me.
This yeah, absolutely is a day one for me. And there's only two notes that I kind of thought of as this got announced, which is very exciting. I'm right there with you. I definitely want to get myself a Steam machine. But else I find really exciting about this is, again, back in 2015, they tried to do a Steam machine, or they did. And I'm 99% sure they almost outsourced it. Like Alienware was making it, and other companies was producing these Steam machines. Now Valve is making these Steam machines in-house, which is very, very exciting that they have their hands on it completely. And I also find it really interesting with, again, the announcement of Xbox deciding to go the PC console route, or the premium probably PC / console at home. I'm wondering where this is going to fall in the sense of not only the power, but also affordability. Like, I'm so curious what this is going to cost, because I know a lot of people are expecting the new Xbox PC hybrid console being a super high-end piece of tech. So I'm curious if this will be, again, a fairly powerful at-home PC that plays all of your Steam games. It's easy to use and all that stuff, but is a little bit cheaper. I'm so fascinated to see how all of this unfolds in the world of at-home console and at-home PC gaming. But the fact that this thing is 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck has me very excited. And I love the look of the new controller too. I love that there's 2 joysticks in addition to the 2 trackpads to use your mouse. I think that's really cool. The new VR headset looks amazing. It looks so cool. So yeah, this is very exciting for Valve. I love that they're doing this. I'm so pumped. So pumped.
Yeah, I feel like Valve very rarely misses, so I feel like this is definitely...
Yeah.
This looks very exciting. I don't know, price-wise, I feel like rumored it would probably be in the $800 to $900 range if we're basing it on a low-end PC. But, they could go under that. Now that they're manufacturing themselves, I feel like there will be less cost, so maybe it'll be lower. And also, if they really want to crash the market, if they go lower in price than most consoles, this is going to blow up, I would think. Yeah. I will say on the note of the controller, as you were saying, it has the 2. It feels like a PlayStation controller at the top, where it has like the 2 thumb pads. It has the same faceplate buttons. It has a view and menu button, or select and start, much like the Xbox or the PlayStation. But the 2 trackpads, not unknown of. I believe the previous console or their previous controller has trackpads on it. This one, though, has a grip-enabled gyroscope, which they call grip sense, where holding the controller's grips can enable and disable gyro aiming. So it has an extra function to it as well. I'd be very curious to see its uses once it gets out there.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the Valve Steam Frame, that is the name of their VR helmet. One, it will play any PC enabled VR game. So you're already, with the exclusion of the ones that are exclusive to MetaQuest 3, you have the full library of VR. So that's insane. It is a streaming first, which means essentially it is wireless. So no wires at all. It's supposed to be light. Very exciting for that as well. It is essentially a PC. So from Steam themselves, they say the Steam Frame is essentially a PC of its own. It has a Snapdragon 8 series processor with 16 gigabytes of RAM in the device itself. So it is running some pretty extensive stuff, some pretty heavy-duty machinery in that thing. So I'm very excited to give it a try. And then I do want to talk about a rumor. Because so last week there was a rumor from I will not do this justice because I don't know their name. But they went out and essentially said that Valve is about to shake the world of video gaming, that GTA 6 being pushed back does not mean anything because they're about to drop an even bigger piece of news. This came out this week. I assume this was the case. They're talking about the Steam machine, and they're talking about the VR. This user came out and said, no, they still haven't announced their biggest announcement yet. So, is it finally time? Are we getting Half-Life 3?
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
It's got to be, Uno. I can feel it in my bones.
Yes.
Just like how we were feeling and sensing that Silksong was on the horizon.
Yes.
I feel the exact same way about Half-Life 3. You can't pick a better launch title for a new console. You can't.
If you want to sell this thing, that is the way. And especially if it does coordinate with the frame and they come out at the same time. If this game can be played on VR and regular, this might actually be what breaks the pattern on console. Like, Valve could be a heavy hitter. I mean, they already are a heavy hitter. They are essentially PC gaming at this time. There is Epic, there is so on and so forth. I feel like Valve kind of took the forefront of the PC market. But if they're also going to be getting in the console game and bringing in all of these titles and maybe bringing Half-Life 3 and VR, I feel like they might be the new number 3 eventually.
Yeah, that would just be so unbelievably incredible. And I just keep thinking about how amazing this year has been. Like, absolutely one of the best years in gaming ever, in my opinion. If we got an announcement for Half-Life 3 this year as well, and also please FF7 Remake Part 3.
Yes, please.
It'd be the greatest year in gaming. It really would. That would be so exciting. So I got my fingers and toes crossed that we're going to get that announcement. That would be so awesome.
Well, very exciting news, and that's not all actually, because we got all kinds of other stuff that was announced this week, including, did you know, we talked about this a little bit last week, but Pokemon Legend ZA is the best-selling physical game of the year in the United States of America. In a YouTube interview recently with a market research company called Circana, they revealed that this is by far the best-selling physical game. It does not include digital sales. And to give you an idea, last month they announced that ZA had sold 5.8 million copies globally in its first week. We don't have updated numbers quite yet, but the understanding is that this is the top selling game, and it will do even better because we're about to go into the holiday quarter, and they're anticipating this game will sell like hotcakes, which very exciting for Pokemon. I feel like Pokemon's come back at the forefront, so good on that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And also very exciting for physical media, because I want that to hang on for as long as possible. So to hear those numbers is very, very exciting. And yeah, like you said, Uno, going into the holiday season, Pokemon Legends ZA is definitely going to be one of the best selling games this holiday season. And it's a blast. Very, very fun Pokemon game. So yeah, very exciting for them.
Some more piece of news. This one about Elden Ring. You should be excited about this. Elden Ring NightReign, that was the co-op focus game that came out just recently, is actually getting a DLC out next month called Forsaken Hollows. The DLC will feature a bunch of new bosses, new weaponry, all kinds of new stuff. But the biggest piece here is that a Dark Souls boss will be returning. And that is the boss known as Artorias, a much requested one by players. And you were telling me off screen that when you were playing this, when you found out that they had old bosses, this was the one boss you wanted to be featured in this game.
Immediately. The second I saw the footage of the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3, who was also an iconic boss in the Dark Souls trilogy, but immediately I'm like, oh my God, if in Elden Ring we can fight Artorias, that would be the coolest thing. Again, Artorias easily is regarded as one of, if not the best bosses in the entire Dark Souls the entire Dark Souls trilogy. Just an incredible fight, an incredible backstory. So when I saw the clips of this new DLC with like a whole new map and all different new enemies and weapons and stuff, the second they showed that clip of Artorias, I literally stood up out of my chair. I was so excited. So this is amazing news for NightReign. I love that they're continuing to update this game and add different features and things like that. I also do love how they've made it easier to go in there solo or to be able to play duos and be able to play with 3 people, obviously, which is how it started. But I love that they're still putting so much time and attention into NightReign. I will absolutely be jumping back in once this DLC drops. I have to fight Artorias and NightReign. That just sounds so awesome. So awesome.
And then a couple of other updates they did announce. This is just based on the trailer, so we're just assuming based on the visuals they showed. But Artorias from Dark Souls, the Dancing Lion from the Shadow of Erdtree expansion seems to be in this as well as a field boss version of the Gladius Night Lord. Plus, they announced at least two new playable characters. One is a scholar who gains incredible advantages through battlefield observations. Not quite sure what that will do. Probably a very big on arcane magic. And the other is the Undertaker, who has a bunch of strength and faith skills. They also have a brand new event, Shifting Earth event called the Great Hollow that features temples, and remains of ancient people, and a cursed, life-draining miasma that comes out of crystals. Not sure what that means. But there is a new event.
Scary.
It sounds scary, and it is exciting to find out that they are supporting this game further. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get more of this in the future as well. All of this, by the way, comes out December 4th, so we don't even have to wait very long. It's about 2 weeks away.
Yes.
Last two pieces of news. This one I just think is an insane title to read out loud, but a man has danced for 144 hours to break a video game marathon record. So
my God,
a man from Budapest played over 3,000 songs and burned over 22,000 calories in Dance Dance Revolution over a 6-day span to beat a world record for the longest video game marathon. Ridiculous. And it is, so everyone knows, it's officially recognized by the Guinness World Records, so there is no way around this one. That's, I don't know how you do that. How do you, how do you stay awake for 6 days? What are the rules?
That's a ton of determination. That is a ton of determination. 144 hours of DDR. That's unbelievable. This man is a legend, an absolute legend.
So this man also holds a few other records. He achieved the longest video game marathon playing a Naruto game for 28 hours, 11 minutes, and 32 seconds playing Naruto Meto Akuseru 2, which I don't know which one that is. But he played that for 28 hours. That is recognized also by the Guinness World Record. And then he also has the longest video game marathon playing a puzzle game, which, so one is for a Naruto game, one is for a puzzle game. This one, a 32-hour and 32-minute stream of Tetris Effect. In 2023, he also did a 90-hour gaming session of Gran Turismo 7, earning him 3 more accolades, including longest video game marathon playing a racing game. So this person's been doing it steadily. This kind of seems like his thing. In preparation for this, it says he trained for 6 months on intensive physical training and marathon training that focused mostly on his legs and glutes, and had a strict diet in preparation for this 144-hour stream.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Insane.
He's just breaking records left and right. Left and right.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't advise anyone try to break these ones.
Yes.
These are dangerous, by the way. To be playing for so long is not a healthy thing. So kudos for him for getting through all the way, because that is wild.
Yeah, GG's.
And our final piece of news is the Indie Game Awards 2025 is coming up shortly, and we finally got our Indie Game Awards nominees. The Game of the Year has 10 nominees right now, and I'd like to disclose what they are. We can have a little conversation, including there's some games I've not played, which makes it very easy for me, because that means I get to go download these afterwards. 10 games. First, we've got Absalom. That is the roguelike hack and slash game that I talked about the last few weeks. And Roger, which I have not heard about. Consume Me, which I also have not heard about. Blueprints, that I've raved heavily about this puzzle mansion game. Citizen Sleeper 2, this is a narrative-focused cyberpunk-style game. Very much conversational game. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. That's right. It falls under indie games. Hades 2. also falls under Hades indie games. Silk Song, which also falls under indie games. We're talking about three of the heaviest hitters, if not the three heaviest hitters of this year.
The whole year.
Of the whole year. Keep driving.
Yeah.
This was a very fun, you fix your car as you go from location to location. Very fun. And then this one I have not played, but I do want to. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo, which is a puzzle platformer, 3D puzzle platformer. So even in this one list, I have no idea who can win. It could be anything.
Same. I mean, I know we have said week after week how incredible 2025 has been in the year of gaming, but again, specifically, what a year for indie gaming.
Seriously.
It's looking at these titles, I'm like, oh my God, multiple of these could win the entire game of the year. The entire game of the year. Mm-hmm. It's just so many of these indie developers just absolutely crushed it. It makes me so excited for the future of the inspiration for other people too, and all the other projects that so many indie developers are working on. These titles, everyone should be so unbelievably proud of these masterpieces they put out. It's so awesome, and like you said, so hard to pick. So hard to pick.
That's my issue right now is I don't even know what my game of the year is. I feel like I have an idea, but even looking at this list, I'm like, well, maybe they'll change because there's at least 4 heavy hitters in this that I could slot as number one any week. You won't have to wait very long, though, for the results because the Indie Games Awards 2025 will kick off on December 18th. You can watch on YouTube and Twitch. It airs at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can do the math for all the other times, but that will be on December 18th. There's also other nominations and other presenters. Go check the list out at the Indie Game Awards website. We're not going to list them all, or else it would take forever. But I'm very excited to find out who wins Indie Game of the Year. It really could be anyone. And it could also be the Game of the Year, which is crazy to think.
Yeah.
Very exciting news. Very exciting. And that is it for news for this week. I feel like there was a bunch of stuff to talk about, but that's not all because we're not done. Not at all. Our favorite segment of the show, the Arcade Mailbag, comes to you right after this. And we're back. It is time for the Arcade Mailbag, brought to you by our good friends at UpperDeck.com. As always, Upper Deck has provided us with some beautiful cards to unpack. We have a metal pack today. That's the AEW 2025 metal pack. By far our favorite pack of cards that we have ever opened here. What do we have today, Chugs?
We got a good metal pack. Got a very good metal pack.
Starting out with the champ, Hangman. We've got Anthony Bowens. MJF in I've never seen these cards before. That's a nice little sheen on there.
Oh, baby.
Oh, Roderick Strong.
There he is.
Mariah May. And Toa Leona. Hell yeah.
Look at these.
I believe that's Toa's first card too. Very exciting.
I think that might be.
You can get those on the website at UpperDeck.com, but that's not all because Upper Deck is cracking open the most electrifying AEW trading card release yet, the 2025 SB Game Used Set, dropping November 19th. That is this week. This is AEW's first ever game used product, and it's stacked with pieces from the ring. Each box delivers 1 autograph and 2 memorabilias or tech cards. From championship belt to event banners, kendo sticks to trash cans, this set dives deep into the grit and glory of AEW's most iconic moments. Yes, there's even a one-on-one fork, a nod to the explosive move Hangman Adam Page made on Jon Moxley at All In Texas. Whether you're chasing matchup relics or tech-layered rarities, this release is pure adrenaline for collectors. Collectors can get their hands on a box in their local hobby shops or visit UpperDeck.com to find a store near you. There you go. Thank you, as always, to UpperDeck.com. Today, we've got 2 questions from our mailbag. If you would like your questions answered in the future, go to TBS.com/arcade mailbag.
Yes, yes. And first question today is from Cody. Cody, thank you very much for the question. Cody says, massive fan of you both. I was telling a friend about your incredible idea for a Mario Kart style racing game starring AEW characters. He flipped the prompt and wondered how a Nintendo wrestling game might look. Who doesn't want to see Waluigi and Wario hit a Doomsday device? I don't know, Cody. I certainly
I
do.
definitely
I'm right
want to
there
do
with
that.
you.
Yes.
What other IP might make for a quality wrestling game? Cody, thank you very much for the question. That is a great question. Also a great idea. I completely agree with you. Nintendo having a wrestling game would be absolutely incredible. But you know what? I'm gonna go with the Final Fantasy universe wrestling game. I would love to see Sephiroth versus Kefka in a steel cage match.
Yeah, hitting Michinoku drivers on each other.
Yeah. I'd love to see Cloud and Squall going one-on-one in a TLC match. I'd want to see all of it. I'd want to see all of it. So my answer is going to be the Final Fantasy universe as far as a wrestling game goes.
Not to be boring, but I generally do not think there is a better cast of characters to do a wrestling game than the Nintendo characters. I feel like
I agree.
You Cody, you're on the button here. Waluigi and Wario hitting a Doomsday device, that sounds unreal. And there has been wrestling in Nintendo games before. If you look at a Smash Brothers game, the Kirby hits a Tombstone Pile Driver. He turns you upside down, leaps off the air, hits a Tombstone Pile Driver. It's listed as Tombstone Pile Driver. Donkey Kong, his grapple move is he puts you on his shoulder and he gives you a razor's edge. So there's been wrestling before. I feel like also the Street Fighter characters could really make a professional wrestling game, especially if you're going to lean into the Zangief stuff. I feel like that would really work. But by far, I have to say Nintendo, by a mile, should do this. They already have sporting games. They already have the universe and the characters for it. I feel like they would be perfect for this.
Yeah. No, I agree. Cody, thank you very, very much for the question. And next up, last but not least, this question is from a Rare Beast. And a Rare Beast says, greetings, Mr. Uno and Mr. Chugs. Greetings to you. We're of a generation where arcades were a lot more present than they are now. That is very true. I personally used to love my most local Soul Calibur 2 machine. Do you have any fun arcade memories? Devastating ones are also fine. And how did you spend your time at the arcade? Beast, great question. And you are absolutely right. We did grow up at a time where there were arcades that were a lot more prevalent. Spending time in an arcade was always so much fun. I think it'd be amazing if they made like a real comeback. But yeah, I have so many fun memories. I know, I was talking about Time Crisis earlier, but me and my brother used to go and play Time Crisis 2, the arcade machine, all the time, every time we were there. I thought it was so unbelievable that when you shot the light gun, the gun actually cocked. Like, I thought that was so unbelievable and so cool. So many great fond memories of getting to play NFL Blitz. This was before I got the chance to play it on the Nintendo 64, and still the arcade version is just, it's so cool and it's so awesome. But the only other memory that really sticked out to me is I was never this person, but I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, is every time I would go into an arcade, when Dance Dance Revolution was really popular, there was always one guy or one girl that was playing DDR, holding onto the rails, just going wild, just dancing their lives away. And there was always like a group of people watching them. I normally was one of the people watching them. I never had the courage or the ability to do this level of DDR, but I always enjoyed watching and being mesmerized by the absolutely incredibly skilled people who were holding onto those handrails and just dancing like crazy, dancing like crazy. So those are my arcade memories.
On my end, like I still will go to arcades to this day. If we're going into a different town, a lot of times that's one of my go-tos is to find a barcade, get a pinball machine. I love pinball. I think pinball is incredible. There's especially nowadays they've been coming out with new sets as well. So that the culture of pinball is still growing in a way that I feel like, thankfully, they're keeping the arcade cabinets alive. But I'm very fond of a lot of arcade cabinets. One of my dreams has always been to own that 6-person X-Men arcade cabinet where you can play Colossus, Dazzler, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, and so on. I've wanted that thing for the entirety of my life. Theoretically, I could just do it and purchase it. It just doesn't seem like a wise investment to buy a 6-person cabinet when no one's ever been in my home. That's okay. But I typically will play that. I'll typically end up fighting a Street Fighter Alpha 3 cabinet if I can, or the Simpsons arcade cabinet for sure. And much like Chugs, I used to go to the movie theater all the time, and Time Crisis or House of the Dead was always my go-tos. I would always be on the gun shooters. But I do have one interesting story I want to talk about when it comes to arcades. In my first year of AEW, and I might be misquoting this, I believe the night we were in Chicago, and it may have been Tony Khan's birthday. But we went to a local arcade in Chicago, Tony's old stomping grounds. And that night on an NBA Jam cabinet, myself and Orange Cassidy faced Tony Khan and Chuck Taylor. And I am not happy to say this. In fact, I'm a little bit humiliated. Tony Khan whipped my ass at NBA Jam. I did not stand a chance. I didn't stand a chance. They were like continuously dropping 3-pointers. It was humiliating how bad I was getting crushed. So let it be known. Tony Khan, really good at NBA Jam, knows how to play that game real good.
That's incredible. What an incredible detail. And what incredible questions. Cody, a rare beast, thank you very, very much for the questions. Again, me and Uno love the community mailbag. This is always so much fun. So again, thank you everybody for sending in your questions. And last but not least, we have to reveal the answers for the producer quiz. So we're going to see how we did. Going to scroll down. Okay. Okay. Question 1. Which of the following has not been an enemy in the Legend of Zelda series? Uno said Goomba. I said Kirby. Well, Kirby was the correct answer. The outlier was the correct one. Kirby or anti-Kirby is an enemy from Link's Awakening and is found in Eagle's Tower. Wait.
I thought the question was not. Oh, unless anti-Kirby doesn't count as Kirby.
Oh, right. Anti-Kirby. Oh, that was the throw off. Okay,
there you go. I was like, wait a second here.
Yeah, same. So Kirby or anti-Kirby is an enemy from Link's Awakening is found in Eagle's Tower. Anti-Kirby does very little damage and sucks air into its mouth. Okay, so that's one for me. Question 2. Which statements about the Elden Ring are true? The answer was D, all of the above.
Damn it.
A, Elden Beast is the true form of the Elden Ring. It was sent to the lands between through a golden star before the events of the game. Queen Marika shattered the ring in response to the death of Godwyn in an event called the Shattering. And the Elden Ring itself is an artifact that defines the world of Elden Ring itself. So all of the above were correct. And question 3 was, let me reread the question. 3 of these PS3 games have an average of 90 plus Metacritic score. Which PS3 game has an average score in the 60s? Uno, me and you were both correct. The answer was Silent Hill Downpour. Although highly anticipated, the game received an average Metacritic score of 64 when it launched in 2012 due to its clunky combat, uninspired enemy designs, and poor performance, among other critiques. So there we go.
There we have it.
We got our... There it is.
Chugs, you're now 4 above me, 9-5.
9-5.
I should, you know what? I should have went with the gut answers. I think I would have done better.
There's still plenty of time. There's going to be many more producer quizzes.
There will be many more.
Yeah.
Every single week we get you the producer quiz. We also bring you the arcade mailbag. But as always, our episodes drop on Monday. If you did not know, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. We are available in audio format and all areas that you can listen to podcasts, but we're also available in a video format, youtube.com/AEW Games. That's at noon Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. That's when it drops. If you also subscribe to the channel, you get access to MXM's weekly gaming show called the Bronami Code that drops on Thursdays. You can find us both on Twitch. I'm twitch.tv/eviluno. By the time this comes out this weekend, my next Mystery Wrestling event will be on this Sunday, so do check that out. Chugs right now is playing through every major game. He's playing Silksong, he's playing Expedition 33. Do check that out, twitch.tv/thechugs. Plus, AEW Games also Twitch streams every single Monday, twitch.tv/AEW Games, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. Typically, MXM and Ricochet are on there, but every week there's a new cast of characters alongside MXM. Do check those out. As always, we're very thankful for you listening to our podcast. I hope you will listen next week as well. Thank you so much for everything, and we will see you next week for another episode of All Elite Arcade. Bye-bye.